Hey everyone, welcome back to the StraboSpot channel. I'm Claire, and today we're going to be walking through spots in StraboSpot, the different types, how to edit them, and associate data. So there are three different types of spots: point spot, line spot, and polygon spot. Spots are a central concept in the StraboSpot ecosystem between all three of the applications: Strabo Field, StraboMicro, and Strabo Experimental. On our About page in the overview, we have a pretty good explanation for what spots are. Specifically, the spot is the core data unit in the Strabo data system, and it's a spatially defined observation that captures where and over what scale a measurement applies. And measurement can also be data. By linking spots across the field, map, and laboratory scales, StraboSpot preserves spatial relationships, scale, and purpose. When we're looking at our spots, our micrograph can hold data, and the key thing to look at is the data panel on the right-hand side over here. So currently our micrograph is what is selected. If I click the point spot, you can see spot details. It shows you the name of the spot, the breadcrumb of where we are, and there's metadata associated with the spot specifically. So you can see the sample metadata and the notes, but you can also see any spot data. A spot can hold data just like a micrograph can. So if we have a point spot here and we want to define a mineralogy, we can add a mineral. Say it's 100% feldspar in this location, click Save, and now this spot contains mineralogy lithology data. So your micrograph can hold data, but you can use the spots to be more specific and more granular with your observations. And over here on our toolbar, you can see we have our buttons. So to add a point spot, you click the point spot button, then you navigate to your micrograph where you might want to add a point spot. So say I want to make a note of this lighter portion of the micrograph right here. I click to add a point spot. It brings up the spot modal, which prompts you for a spot name. I can add notes. I can change the spot color, light to dark. I could add in a hex code if I wanted to, have it be a very specific color or match a color used on a map or in a different project. And then I can change the opacity. And I can always edit this information later. So I'll create the spot. You can see how the spot that I've added, I associated a yellow color, but it's showing gray. That's because in the View menu, I have View spots by mineral color checked and not by spot color. So if I change it to View by spot color, you can see the yellow color that I gave that spot. Next up, we have line spots. To add a line spot, you click and highlight the line spot button. And then you can draw a line and you can click as many vertices as you'd like. So you can make it whatever shape line you're interested in. Double click on the last vertice. Change this spot to blue. And I can create this spot as well. Now I have a blue line spot. The third and final spot type is a polygon spot. So you click and highlight polygon spot, and then you click the vertices similar to the line spot. But now you can see you're drawing an area. I'm going to outline this inclusion in my sample. And on the last vertice, I double click. I'll change this color to a different color, purple, and create the spot. Polygon spots are particularly, the opacity is particularly useful for polygon spots because they are covering an area. The next thing we're going to do is edit the spot. So when you zoom in, you see my polygon's a good approximation, but it could be better. So what I'm going to do is select the spot, right click, and select Edit Spot Geometry. This highlights the points that I've created and the vertices. So I can click and highlight any of these points to move them to a different location along along the line that defines the spot. In this case, I'm just trying to get a little bit better of an outline for this particular inclusion. So I will save those edits. Now my polygon spot has a little bit better boundary. Next thing I'm going to explore is how to split a spot. So with this method, you draw a line again, and then double click on the end. And what I've done is, you can see there's sort of a gradient difference, sort of a color difference between these two areas. So perhaps this is one inclusion, and this is a separate neighboring inclusion. Now I have two different spots. I can edit this metadata, change this color, so it's a little more obvious that they're separate spots, and they're treated separately. And again, I right-clicked, click Split Spot with Line. The next action you can do is merge two spots together. So there are two different ways to highlight both spots at the same time. First, you can click a spot, hold the Command key on your keyboard, and click the other spot. That will highlight them both. Or you can use the Lasso Select tool, which is the fourth button in your toolbar. If you click the Lasso Select, it allows you to draw a lasso around the spots in question, and that will highlight the two spots as well. Right-clicking, you have two options. You can edit both of the spots at the same time. It allows you to add a primary mineral, change the color or the opacity of both spots at the same time. Or you can right-click and select Merge Two Selected Spots. This will create one polygon out of the two spots. You can see it changed the shape of the polygon to include them both. It doesn't do an exact match of the original outline. But again, you can always edit the spot geometry with a right-click, where you could redefine the vertices as you like them. The next concept that I quickly want to touch on related to spots is what a recursive spot is. So if we were in an associated micrograph here, you can see this is our reference photomicrograph. So if I click back to the reference micrograph, you can see I have several associated micrographs. And the main thing is that you can see the spots that we added on our associated photomicrograph all the way out. So we're looking at our reference, but you can see the spots on an associated at the same time. You can turn this off if you're not interested in seeing that. So they're called recursive spots, show or hide. You can turn them on or off, but it allows you to look at the larger, low magnification image, your reference micrograph image, but also see potentially where you've added data. And you can click see the data associated with the spots while looking at the reference photomicrograph. There's a few different ways that we can edit our spots. So looking in the spot menu here, it also has some of the options that you can access with a right click while clicking a spot. You can split the spot with a line, merge or edit selected spots. You can configure the mineral colors. So if you have a mineral defined for your spot type, so for example, I have feldspar defined for this point spot. If I go to this spot menu, configure mineral colors, I locate, feldspar isn't on the list, so we'll add feldspar. We'll give it a new color, let's say lime green. Well, we have a few lime greens. Give it a new color, bright red. Click the plus button to add it to the list, and then close. You can see the spot is still yellow. That's because in our view menu, we have view spot by spot color. So we change that to view spot by mineral color. This spot will change, and this reflects a feldspar. This point spot has feldspar defined as the mineralogy. If we click here on this polygon spot, maybe we edit the mineralogy defined, deleting what's existing, add in feldspar that we recently colored red. Now you can see that this spot has still the spot color is purple, but the mineral color has been defined as red, and currently it's showing the mineral color, not the spot color. If we click back, you'll see the purple of the spot. So there's just a few different ways that you can customize the view of your spot depending on your workflow or your research topic. The next way to edit spot data, another tool that we have in Micro, is quick edit mode, the quick edit spot mode. This allows you to quick edit all the spots that are on a micrograph. You can either edit all spots or just the unclassified spots. In this quick edit mode, you are changing the mineralogy defined for a spot. So it's very useful for something like point count or grain detection, both of which are tools that exist in StraboMicro and will be covered in a future video. So let's do all spots on the micrograph. We have our 4 spots that are on the micrograph. You have 2 windows here. So we can see that 3 out of the 4 have been defined. 1 is remaining. There are keyboard shortcuts here that you can customize. You can configure your shortcuts so that you can click quickly and define the mineralogy. Say I'd like to define all spots on my micrograph as albite is the primary mineralogy. A is the shortcut, keyboard shortcut for albite. So I click A on my keyboard, it defines albite, and it walks me through the spots. Spot 2, defining albite, you can see they're highlighted in red. Spot 3, it's currently defined as feldspar. I'm going to define albite as well. And for the 4th spot, A again, click albite. So you can see on the progress bar, we're 100% complete. All 4 spots have mineralogy defined. They're all classified and they're all albite. If I wanted to change, say this one is biotite, I can click B. It will keep cycling through until I click the Done button. Now you can see I've defined 1 spot per mineral here. Each spot has a mineral distribution, but it gives you the data quickly. So if I click Done, if I click this spot, you can see that the mineralogy has been defined for each spot. So it's just a really quick way. Again, it's in the spot menu, quick edit spots. It's a quick way to define the mineralogy for spots that you've created and added to your micrograph. So you have to add the spots first, give them a name, but then you can quickly go through and assign mineralogy. The last spot tool is Quick Spot Presets. This allows you to create a template for a spot so that you can quickly associate specific types of data with a spot that you create. Similar to the quick edit mode, but more flexible in terms of the types of data that you can associate. Global means your user account, your username. These global spot presets will be available for any micro project that you have. If you want specific spot presets assigned to your project only, then you would click the project. These are just the 2 different access levels. So say we want to make one for our project, we'll click the Create Preset button. I want to define an extinction microstructure. I know there are many of these features in my project, and so I'd like to be able to quickly add this information. Can change the spot color. I can set the opacity as well. And then at the bottom is where the important part. I can associate the type of data that I'm interested in. So this is an extinction microstructure spot template. And the type of extinction microstructure that I'm interested in is undulose extinction. I'm going to add, so I have the feature, dislocations in a tangular pilope and undulose extinction for my extinction microstructure. I'll click Save. So now I have extinction microstructure defined. I have chosen the spot color. I know the scope where this preset will be available, and I have the name. If I click Create, you can see the log of all of my presets here. Click Close. So now when I either make a new spot or I have spots that have the features, say I'd like to capture the extinction microstructure present in this large central grain. Create a polygon spot. And then I'll apply a preset. So it shows me my extinction microstructure preset is here and available. It's applied the preset, it automatically applied, it forced the spot color, so I have a visual cue of what I'm looking at, and then I have the preset, and it tells me what kind of data I've automatically associated. So this just helps you save a bit of time with having to manually add data for every spot. In a future video, we'll be going over the types of data that you can add. This is just a quick preview, focusing in on spots and their functionality. That wraps up today's tutorial on spots. Thank you for following along.